This is a small pile of a traditional sized granular fertilizer. And this is a small pile of a greens grade fertilizer. And this is a small pile of ultra greens grade fertilizer.
Ultra greens grade.
So those are three fertilizers that I use around the yard. And the last one in particular, the ultra greens grade, I'm going to be using for the first time today here on the putting green. Both the greens grade sample you saw there and the ultra greens grade sample are from ProPete, and ProPete specializes in making fertilizers that are homogeneously blended, meaning that all of the nutrients are blended into each prill, and on top of that they coat them with peat moss for organic material, which the soil just loves. And I love using ProPete. I've been using ProPete for a couple of years now, and they have told me about and sent me a sample of their ultra greens grade for putting greens, and I'm all about that. So I'm actually going to put that down and something else today to give it kind of a 1-2 hit so that I have a short-term effect and a long-term effect. I'll explain. Here we go. So before I get started with this application, which isn't going to take very long, I just want to give a couple of updates here on the backyard putting green. I've been kind of neglecting it this year. Work has been really busy. I haven't been able to mow it once a day like I have been in the past, but it is doing really well. This is the V8 bent grass from Barenbrug, and it's doing really nicely, and it looks fantastic. It's cut at 1/8 of an inch now, and it's looking really tight, really filled in. And I did go ahead and extend the chipping area. It was about like right here, right at the end of this mowing line, and I brought it all the way out here to have a little bit more room to chip onto the green, make it a little more interesting, a little more fun, a little more manageable. It takes a little bit longer to mow this with the super recycler, but that's okay. I think it's worth it, and everything looks just fantastic. I love having this. It's really fun for me. I haven't had a lot of time to use it, I'll admit, at least not yet this year. Things have just been really busy. So I still like to look at it, I still like to maintain it. That's part of the fun for me. Maintaining it is just as much fun for me as actually putting and chipping on it. So it's a win-win. It is a lot of maintenance, it does take some extra effort, but in my opinion, it's worth it. Alright, so as I mentioned at the beginning of the video, this is the ProPete Ultra Greens grade, and it is like almost dust. It is so fine as far as granule size, especially compared to their greens grade, which is fantastic. I use this in my business. I love the way it is manufactured as far as it being a homogeneous blend coated in peat moss. And I love the consistency of the prill size, and I love the grade, the greens grade, or SGN as it's known in the industry. It is so small, and it spreads so well, and it's so smooth and consistent. It just makes fertilizer applications really easy. And I'm really interested to see, I'm sure it's going to be the same, how the Ultra Greens grade goes. I'm probably going to go a little heavy just because I don't mind doing that, but it's soft, and it's so fun. It's like sand, and that's the whole point behind the Ultra Greens grade, is it's small enough that it's not gonna be on top of the canopy of the grass. It's not gonna inhibit anything on the putting green surface itself. It's gonna get right down into the canopy of the grass, down into the soil, and it's gonna do its thing. So this is the first product going down today. This is the 1704 Ultra Greens grade from ProPete. So after the ProPete goes down, I'm gonna be using Flora Green from Greene County Fertilizer. This is a 402, and I started using this on the putting green last year, and it worked out really surprisingly nicely. There's not a lot of nitrogen input, there's a little bit of potassium. So what I'm expecting to get out of this application here is a quick response from the urea nitrogen in the Flora Green. Quick green up, a little bit of color. There is some iron in here, which is nice. And then the ProPete's gonna sit a little longer. It's gonna take a little bit longer to break down. And once it does, then that's gonna kick in all of those nutrients, and we'll have kind of like a 1-2 punch, if you will. So that's kind of how I'm approaching this. It's kind of fun for me to mix things up a little bit. It's not something to be scared about applying fertilizer. It's something that you should feel comfortable understanding and learning about, and trying new things and seeing what happens. And this is one of those things for me today. FloraGreene is an awesome product. I also like using this on my trees, and it works very, very well. I'll have a link to this down in the description below. You can check it out. Whew, you can definitely smell the kelp in that. Even with just a little bit in the concentration between the product and the water, you can smell it, and it's still lingering on my fingers a little bit. So I'm gonna have to go wash my hands, because I don't really like that smell, but at least I know it's there and it's gonna work. So that's a quick update on the putting green today. If you have any questions on products I've used or anything else like that, let me know down in the comment section there. If you're not already subscribed to the channel, please consider subscribing. Lots more content to come, not just with the putting green, but with lawn tips and other things lawn care related in general. Have a lot of fun here doing this. Hope you enjoy watching. Appreciate you watching. Thank you so much. I'll see you next time.